Hello and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Sunday, everybody. Today is Friday for me. I'm getting ready to head out for the weekend. Gonna go someplace magical. And so I thought I would go ahead and take a moment to look through my garden, and let's take a look and see what I did this week. Alright, so it is a gorgeous, gorgeous day in South Florida, and I thought that I would come outside and spend a couple hours in the garden and get some things done. So some of the things that I got done was I did transplant the hanging basket that had the tomatoes in it. So in this pot, I have the one that was in its small container by itself. These came from the hanging basket. They were so intertwined that they would not come apart, so I just planted these clusters here. So way more than 3 plants. We're going to go ahead and get a tomato cage for that tomorrow. And over here, what I did was I planted the peas. So we've got 2 pea plants there and the onions. And I got about a half a dozen more of the little onions sprouts. So we'll keep an eye on that. Hopefully those will take over. And then in here, I've got 21 different cherry tomato plants. And again, these came from the hanging basket that I did. And what I ended up with was 9 large plants that I'm probably going to go to a friend of mine. So I hope that she has enough pots to take all those. If not, I'll have some extras, but that's okay. There's 9 of them there. And then this is what the basket looks like left. I had some stragglies that I really didn't have any more pots or anything, so I just put them back in the original pot. There's 9 of them. And once again, we're looking at like when we first planned it and we said it's the sorriest looking thing I've ever seen. So hopefully that, hopefully over the next couple days that will all work out and I'll have lots of tomato plants. This thing was so packed with roots and they were sucking up so much water that I had soaked it late last night and it was already bone dry this morning. So there just really wasn't a way to upkeep what was going on in this pot. So hopefully that'll come back and look nice and pretty like it did before. I'll have some pots for the friend of mine, and then we've got all of those over there we got to decide what to do with, not to mention the hanging garden that's starting to blossom. So lots and lots of tomatoes. Okay, so you guys know that this area here I was calling my throwaway garden, remember that? So here literally talk about throwaway. So these were the broccoli plants that I pulled up and I just stuck them in this corner and I never did anything else with them, but enough rain and everything is happened that look, there's actually broccoli and it's all new growth, and so it just, I don't know what to do. That's freaking hilarious. Two in your matching shirt and shorts.
These are the pictures we want right here.
You like your hammock? Yeah, how awesome is that? So somebody threw away the hammock frame, and Rick Sr. there went ahead and took it all apart and painted it and fixed it all up, and it's as good as new. They had attached one of the bottom pieces backwards, so perhaps it didn't work for them because they didn't put it together right, and then they just threw it out. So there you go. A cool find. And so now that I had transplanted all those, let's see how many of them survived, okay? Why don't we go ahead and start over here. We've got the cherry tomato plant, my sweet tomatoes. And still watching my little beefsteak. Look at that. It actually looks like a plant. The Roma tomatoes are still here, so we're happy about that. The peppers are still here, but I have noticed, I think I mentioned something about the spinach, that something is actually getting on the leaves and eating them. So I've got a little worm or bug around. These were the tomato plants that I had said that they had intertwined. Ooh, hello, lizard. Hello, lizard. Would you like to say something to the camera? No? Okay. And you can see they are definitely going through a tree. Oh, another, oh, lizards everywhere. But they're flowering, so that's a good sign, so I'm happy about that. So we'll have those growing. The lettuce is looking nice and full, so that's very exciting. I have not bought lettuce in 2 weeks. Oh, look at the lizard. Makes me very, very happy. I'm still looking at 3 spinach plants. All right, so let's talk about the vertical garden. You can see here that it is flowering, but you can also see how it's wilting. So it definitely needs water. The only situation is, yeah, it's dry as a bone, is that I literally just watered this, I believe, yesterday. So I can definitely see that that is an issue with the vertical garden. Sort of the same issue that I had with the ones in the hanging pot over there, is that it's just drying out so fast here in Florida. So that would be something that you'd literally have to make sure you get up and water every morning as the plant is getting bigger. The peas look great. I do see a couple of the onions look like they're going to go ahead and take off. So that should be kind of exciting. The celery, the leaves are getting much bigger. The stalks are getting much bigger. I'm still not sure how big they're going to get, though. If I should start harvesting now, are they just going to be tiny little skinny celery? Maybe. And here are the other tomato plants. They did mostly perk up. Some of them are sort of laying on their side there. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with these as they grow, because I've got a pretty good selection of what's up there now. My kale is still kicking it, and that's great. The squirrel has left the cabbage alone, so it's actually growing again. I don't know that I'll ever actually have a head, but, you know. The carrots, according to my records, should be done. But I don't see the little carrot heads like they say you're supposed to see them. So I'll fool with that next week. I'll pull one up next week and just see what's going on with that. But since I'm going away, I'll go ahead and leave it alone for the weekend. The potato plant, let me back up so you can see the potato plant is just overtaking everything there in the area. So that's nice, that's good. Haven't seen, oh wait, there's a fruit. I was just about to say I hadn't seen any more of the fruit because it's definitely not been under 80 degrees for a while. It's pretty hot out here today. In honor of Valentine's Day, woohoo! The bucket of love is looking great. Just keeps getting taller and lovelier. And these are the ones that I had pulled out, the better of the ones that I had pulled out of that I was going to give my friend. So they are kind of going through shock. So I do hope that they continue to thrive. I think they'll be fine once they get in some deep dirt with lots of water. And these guys perked up a little bit. You can definitely see the leaves where they went through a little bit of trauma. My bird cage is still sitting over here because I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to drip dirt everywhere before I put it back inside. And over here in our throwaway garden, just for fun, we'll take a look. Everything else looks the same as it has. The peppers and the celery all pretty much look the same. But look at this little guy. He's got little things that sprouted out and they got little flowers on them. So, yeah, so that's about it. So thank you so much for stopping by. It is just a quick update today. I hope everybody had a nice Valentine's Day, and I hope everybody had some good weather for the weekend. And yeah, so make sure that if you like the series, go ahead and click subscribe down below. I do an update every Sunday. I also have a playlist that has them all in there. So if you want to go back and look at the first couple ones to see how I got started, I think it'd be great. I have ambitions of growing my garden. So the area that you see behind me here, we have decided that I think this is going to be the area that I do the garden in. We will be removing this building, mostly because it basically blocks all of my sun. So when we first moved here, we actually had planters all lined up here where we had broccoli and things like that. So stay tuned for the fun coming up. And again, thanks a lot for being here. We'll see you next Sunday. Have a great day.